My name is Ridley, and welcome to my kitchen. This is my kitchen, how I found it. We are on our third stop in Mexico today, and so today we are going to be taking a look at carne asada. Now, when I first looked into this, I thought carne asada was going to be a specific dish or a recipe. It literally means grilled meat or roasted meat. So if you really want to go into the tradition of it, it was sort of originated by ranchers in northern Mexico, and there are some commonalities, but very similarly to a lot of dishes that we saw in India, there are so many regional variants that you can find dozens, if not hundreds, of recipes for carne asada with subtle to enormous differences. I'm going to be doing one which seems to be sort of a mix of the basic concepts that were popular around the creation of it. And that's going to be a little bit of some herbal flavors, some citrus flavors, which the acid in that is also going to help to break down and tenderize the meat. And then also just some light heat from some chili. Now, the dish itself is going to be made with a flank steak here. Now, flank steak or skirt steak would really be appropriate here. I went with flank steak just because that's what my local shop had, but if you find skirt, it's a little bit fattier and might be a little bit more rich for the flavor and a little less tough. But as long as this one gets marinated and gets a nice cut against the grain, we should be good. Now, that is going to be in a really quick marinade with, like I was saying, citrus. So we have 1 orange, 1 lemon, and 1 lime. If you don't want to juice a whole fruit by themselves, you can really easily just measure it out. The orange came to exactly 1/4 cup, which is super handy. The lemon came to just over 1/8 cup, or 2 heaping tablespoons. And the lime is 5 teaspoons, or 1.5 half tablespoons. And then the citrus gets mixed in with some cilantro, and then for heat, tiny bit of jalapeno. Also a fun green color, but this is just for the marinade, so adds a nice zest. And then I've got some chopped garlic, some cumin, some salt and pepper, and then last but not least, we definitely need something to help bond this and bind it into the meat, so a little bit of some oil as a binder. And then I'm also going to add a little bit of vinegar. This is apple cider vinegar, just to aid with breaking down the meat because I'm using a little bit of a tougher cut. Now, once we've got that marinated, traditionally you would throw it directly onto the coals and get a really nice char on it, but I don't have that sort of setup. I'm going to be imitating something kind of close by putting it in my smoker for a slower cook, and then bringing it inside, putting it in the oven at the end for a broil effect to get that char. Once it's done being charred, we can pull it out, slice it against the grain, and then we're going to be serving it with tacos. The taco setup is whatever you would like for tacos. So in my case, I've got a couple of raw onions here. This is red or white onion. I chose red. Cotija cheese, because it's got a little bit of saltiness to it. Some extra cilantro from the earlier bits, and then a sliced lime or 2. And then those are going to go with some corn or flour tortillas. In our case, we're going corn. And then, yeah, that's really about everything with the ingredients. And the recipe is even simpler because once you have the flavors that you want in there, you just mix them all together and then coat the meat, cover it, and let it sit in the fridge for at least 1 hour or up to 8. This is one of those marinades that you don't want to go too long. There are a couple of things like the citric acid in the citrus fruits, along with the extra vinegar. You don't want to let it sit too long and break down too much. But I am going to be making this tonight, so mix everything together, stir until incorporated, add the steak, coat on both sides, and then put it in the fridge. So, I am going to make sure that this gets thoroughly mixed together, get everything coated on here. I'm going to put a little bit on the top here to leave it to marinate for that hour, and then we'll come and check on it then, make sure that it's tender enough for me to move forward, but I have no idea what that looks like. So I would say in about an hour we'll come back to this and move on to the next step of cooking it. See you then. So, opened it and gave it a flip midway through. It's been, I'd say, about an hour and a half now, because I wanted to give it a little bit of extra time on the other side. But that is it. So the marinade is done. So I have the smoker set to 225 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm just going to put it on there for about 40-45 minutes to cook all the way through. You could do a very similar thing in the oven if you wanted to do that first, just to slow cook it to get really tender flavor. Tender meat. And then do the broil from there to get that char. If you have a gas grill or a charcoal grill, you can use those to get the char straight away. So I will put this on the smoker and we'll be back in like 40 minutes. This already smells amazing. It has smoked for about 45 minutes. I checked the internal temperature and we are just over 115. I think we were approaching 120. So it does need to go a little bit further, but I think that the broiler should give us the last little kick that we need. So I have the broiler set to high. We're gonna set this in there for, I don't know, probably just a minute or two, but I'm gonna keep an eye on it because the broiler always scares me. Carne asada is off the smoker. It's got a little bit of char to it. I might have been able to go a little bit longer, but I'm hungry. So at this point, at this point, all we need to do is slice it. Now you want to specifically slice it against the grain because otherwise it's going to be a lot tougher given that we had the leaner piece of meat to begin with as well. So I am going to just slice along here with the really obviously defined grain, get this off to the side, and actually I guess first thing is we need to make sure, yeah, okay, a little bit of pink in the middle. I probably like it a little more medium rare, but we're closer to medium here. I'm going to cut the rest of this up and then get it off to the side. We're gonna build some tacos and then it's time to dig in. So we are done, but I'll see you at tastings and hopefully it is as tasty as it smells. Tasting time. So I put together 3 tacos. Figured we could try a couple different flavors here, but then I imagine, based on the smell, that we're going to be going back for seconds or thirds or eighths.
Right. Yeah, no, this looks great.
So what we've got here is there's the one that has the white to it. That's crema mexicana.
Okay.
So it's going to be like a sour cream tanginess. The red one is Cholula. And then this one has nothing. But before that, I figured we should actually try just a piece
the meat by itself
of the carne asada.
There we go. It's spectacular.
Mm-hmm. The citrus comes through.
Yes. Yes, it does.
But it's not sour. It's tender, which I really like because I was worried with the flank steak that it would be a little chewier, but the flavor pervades the whole bite.
It helps that it was like in all the juice when as you were cutting it. Like that was a good sign.
Yeah, absolutely. So now, which one do you want to try first?
Let's try the plain one first.
Plain one. All right. So
Let's do that.
this is just the carne asada. There is some onions, cotillo, cilantro, a little bit of lime juice. I think that's it. I love tacos.
Yeah. I mean, they're tacos. They're delicious tacos.
Mm-hmm. And there's a whole lot of flavor coming from the meat, but it's not spice necessarily.
Mm.
It's like you can taste the beefiness of it. And then also citrus, a little bit of the cumin comes through.
A lot of that citrus comes through, I think, in a good way.
I'll be back for you.
I mean, yeah, they're fantastic. Another point for Mexico.
I really don't have any complaints about this at all. So we're gonna kill the rest of it that we made. And the next time is mole negro, which is the most ingredients that I've had to find for a recipe yet. So I'm excited to try it and see which version I come across. So I'll see you then, and until then, enjoy some tasty food.